Yes, Kennedy Carter finally broken her silence about the Caitlin Clark hip check.
She was the WNBA's next big thing, until one split-second shoulder check left her career hanging by a thread. That single collision did more than knock Caitlin Clark to the hardwood. It triggered a chain reaction of backlash, silence, and frantic damage control that still has every front office asking the same question. Is Chennedy Carter worth the risk? Buckle up, because the answers stretch far beyond one viral highlight. Seconds ticked off the clock in an ordinary June matchup. Carter had just sunk a silky mid-range jumper. Instead of backpedaling into defense, she cut a hard diagonal line. Eyes locked on Clark. The hip check landed with the unmistakable thud of intent, not impulse. Refs blew the whistle. Common foul, they thought. Then the arena screens rolled the slow-mo.
Bro, you didn't push. You shoved her to the ground. You physically assaulted her, bro.
Viewers saw Carter hurl a quick insult, square her shoulders, and drive straight through the rookie sensation already turning for the inbound. No play in motion, no ball in sight, no basketball reason whatsoever. Review upgraded it to a flagrant, and the footage rocketed around social media before the game even ended. Clark's reaction? She popped up, brushed herself off, and jogged down court without a single protest. That restraint only magnified the cheap shot narrative. Overnight, highlight reels morphed into exposés. And before Carter's bruised ego could even cool, the question morphed from, was it dirty? To, is this who she really is?
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
But the hit was only the first domino. Within 24 hours, sports talk shows filled every time slot dissecting angles, intent, and what it meant for a league finally basking in mainstream glow. Former players called it a throwback to playground cheap shots, while analysts argued the league simply couldn't let that become the headline during its most explosive growth spurt. Behind closed doors, the Chicago Sky brass seethed. Teammates, publicly cordial, privately exchanged side-eye texts. They'd supported Carter's scoring outbursts, but didn't sign up to be extras in her personal vendetta saga. Worse, league marketing executives cringed. Clark had become the WNBA's breakout commercial darling. Sponsors loved her squeaky clean image. Any threat to that momentum felt like sabotage. So, when the league office privately hinted at heavier fines for off-ball intimidation, every GM took note. Carter's name slid quietly from mid-season trade boards to the column marked culture risk. Still, the real iceberg was hidden far beneath the surface. Dig 2 seasons back and the warning signs flashed like neon. Rookie year with Atlanta, 17.4 points per game, endless highlight clips, and an indefinite suspension for conduct detrimental to the team. Locker room dust-ups. Heated exchanges with coaches. Reports she nearly came to blows with veteran floor general Courtney Williams. Atlanta washed its hands of the headache, shipping Carter to Los Angeles. In LA, the stats looked solid. The vibe, not so much. Teammates used words like mercurial and unpredictable. Practices grew tense, film sessions derailed by side arguments. By the time Chicago made its play, many executives figured a change of scenery might work. They gambled on raw talent and got the Clark collision as repayment. Patterns matter. One impulsive foul is forgivable. 3 years of volatility paints a target no coach wants. Yet Carter's loudest response was silence, until the clock nearly ran out. Fast forward to April 2025. Free agency frenzy closed like a steel trap on everyone except Carter. Training camps open in 7 days, and she's still idling at home. Suddenly, she pops up on Streamer Neon's live show, all smiles and shrugging defiance.
In basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, it's a part of basketball. I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said. and then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face, and then we go.
It was just a little tap, she claims, waving off the hit like playground banter. Basketball's physical. Y'all acting brand new. She tosses in a brand new excuse. I think I got elbowed first. Problem. Multiple camera angles show no elbow, no smack talk from Clark, no provocation beyond Carter's own frustration. Viewers felt the spin in real time. Comments flooded the stream. Sis, we saw the replay. Stop it.
She did. She stopped and went through. Like, oh. Like, that is not... We watched the clip.
Worse, Carter's tone flips from denial to praise in a heartbeat. The same player who once questioned Clark's skills now calls her a LeBron-level competitor. The pivot feels synthetic, like a PR script clashing with unfiltered ego. And execs watching know it. One anonymous GM texts a reporter midstream. She's begging without apologizing.
But it's showing me right now that she still is not taking responsibility for her actions. She's finna blame this whole situation on Caitlin Clark supposedly talking smack to her. This is crazy, man. Let's get back to it.
Hard pass. The league's verdict begins to crystallize. The WNBA is cashing record TV deals, jersey sales, and sold-out arenas, much of it tied to Clark's skyrocketing Q score. Scan sponsorship decks, and you'll find her name beside Fortune 100 logos. The league's message is crystal. Protect the product, keep storylines uplifting, spotlight stars who lift everyone. Carter's incident clashes head-on with that script. It risks turning every highlight montage into a debate about dirty play and league safety. That's brand poison. So front offices adopt an unspoken rule. If a player jeopardizes the momentum, she'd better counterbalance it with transcendent skills and flawless accountability. Carter, for all her buckets, hasn't tipped that scale.
Now, granted, she's a dominant scorer, excellent basketball player in certain aspects of the game, but her behavior on and off the court is making it look real shady for her to get picked up by a team.
But even meteoric leagues have memory, and Carter's resume keeps growing jagged edges. Watch the Neon interview again. She compliments Clark, but the words drip with caveats. I love the hate. It fires me up.
I cannot believe what I just watched, bro. Are you serious, bro? Are you serious, bro? You love that you assaulted Caitlin Clark, bro.
She admits no wrongdoing, blames media narratives, then positions herself as misunderstood victim. That cocktail, defensive bravado mixed with selective amnesia, spells locker room risk in neon letters. Contrast it with players who did bounce back from scandal. They issued clear apologies, owned their mistakes, hit community outreach, showed receipts of changed behavior. Carter offers none of that. She offers swagger. Swagger sells sneakers, but only if teams trust the character wearing them. Execs start whispering the ultimate red flag phrase, addition by subtraction. When a GM utters those words, a player's phone stops ringing. And Carter's phone has been quiet for months.
Because I told y'all this. I said Chennedy Carter wasn't going to make a WNBA roster. And as it sit, April 20th, training camps start for teams in 7 days. Training camp for a majority of the WNBA start April the 27th. Chennedy Carter is not on any WNBA roster.
April 27th approaches. 12 WNBA camps open. Rosters sit at 15-plus hardship contracts for late cuts. Not one invites Carter for a practice run. Chicago doesn't extend a qualifying offer, effectively letting their leading scorer walk for nothing. Roster flexibility, the GM says publicly. Off record, insiders describe irreconcilable locker room tension. An Eastern Conference executive delivers the killer blow to a beat writer. She's radioactive, man. Wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. He doesn't even fear being quoted anonymously. The consensus feels ironclad. And while Carter works out solo, Clark is front page of every sports portal, starring in national ads, selling out preseason games before a single regular season ticket hits the market. Skill is currency. Character is credit. Carter's account is overdrawn. What's unfolding isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a referendum on how women's pro sports handle image in the social media era. The league's meteoric rise hinges on stars who attract casual viewers and corporate dollars. That means narrative control becomes existential. Carter's supporters argue she's being made an example, punished beyond the crime because Clark is too valuable.
There is no way that we're letting this happen. Like saying that it was nothing. Like this is not just a tap. Like this is not just a tap.
And Clark. And Clark.
A bit harder than a tap.
Critics clap back. No, she's living out the consequences of refusing to own her actions. Somewhere between those camps lies a broader truth. The modern athlete operates under a microscope sharper and faster than ever. What you do on the court echoes louder off it. And the echo chambers of Twitter, TikTok, and network talk shows never sleep. So here we are, training camp open, rosters locked, sponsors beaming at highlight reels, and Chennedy Carter watching from the outside. One split-second hit morphed into a domino run of silence, spin, and stalled growth. Is the exile fair? Depends on how you weigh raw scoring talent against cultural fit. Some fans say the league overreacted to protect its golden child. Others insist Carter wrote her own fate by refusing responsibility. Here's the bigger question. In an era where image builds leagues and narratives print money, can any athlete afford to gamble their career on bravado without apology? Drop your take below. Was Carter unjustly blackballed? Or is the WNBA sending a necessary warning? And if you think redemption is still possible, tell us what real accountability would look like. Hit subscribe, slam the notifications, because the next chapter of this saga might be closer than you think, and you won't want to miss the twist.